Good afternoon.
Bonjour.
Good afternoon. You're quiet in Morocco. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I'm very happy to do this conversation that is going to be done in English. I hope a lot of the audience understand English. Is it okay? Yeah, good, wonderful. First of all, it's not my usual place to do a conversation, but I was I thought it was very sweet when Melita Toscan-Duplantier and Rémi Bonhomme proposed to me to do this conversation with Ava, which I know since 2017, really. I knew her film before, but I met her in 2017 at the Cannes Film Festival, but it's another story, we'll talk about it later. But it's really an honor for me to introduce a woman, filmmaker, storyteller, Ava DuVernay. And she's a powerful woman, engaged, feminism, but she's generous and she's curious. And this is the things that really interested me talking with her. She's an activist, and her life is dedicated to make us think, see, and move forward for more equality, for looking at the society and American society different. And for me, as a French white woman, I'm very impressed by her career, by her engagement. She's radical, she's powerful, and sometimes people are afraid of her. That's a good thing, So we will begin this conversation. We will share today a little bit of her life. I think it will be in 3 parts. We don't have time to talk about everything, but so the first part, I think I would like Ava to really talk about her life and before being a filmmaker. Then we will talk about 3 of her films, and then we will talk about another subject that is very important for me, is what she has done with her company called Arrêt, but it's not only a company. So we will start by the beginning. We'll try to share together a little bit of your life. I think what is interesting, in talking with somebody is that to understand where do you come from, your family, your studies. It's important to understand then after the shift of your career. So now I don't talk anymore, it's your turn.
Oh, wow. Just a monologue about my early years. Well, first, let me say what an honor it is to sit with you. And I think the words, it's an honor to meet you, I'm honored, it's starting to become something that people say in passing, and they don't really take into account what the word honored means. So I am honored to sit with you. You are not only cinema royalty, but you are someone who welcomed me in my early years in this industry with open arms. And when you talk about generosity, the reason why it's important is because our industry can be very, and some of you may have experienced, very closed off, very hard to connect with people. I'll say I was sitting in the van with a very famous filmmaker on my first day here, trying to strike up a conversation. Wasn't giving me nothing back. I was like, okay, sir, I guess we're not talking. I think, it's hard because it's competitive. I think some people see it as competitive, but I've always seen it as community. And Rosalie has always welcomed me into a community of filmmakers, of film advocates, of film activists, of women, and your generosity is epic, and I appreciate you. So thank you, Rosalie Varda, for being here. I grew up in Compton, California, in the Los Angeles area of the West Coast and the United States, and had a very delightful upbringing. Some films and music paint or suggest that Compton is a violent, challenging place. It can be that, as I believe many places in the world can be. But my experience growing up was filled with family and community and joy and fun and food and music and it's playing in the street and climbing trees and doing all the things that kids should do. There was no one in my family that was in the entertainment industry. But my aunt Denise, who was a nurse, she would work at night as a nurse, and during the day, she would watch films, go to museums, poetry readings, lectures, concerts. She really worked to live. She didn't live to work. And so she would work at night, and during the day, she would enjoy art. And she introduced me to movies. And so 2 times a week, twice a week, we would go to the movies. That's a lot of movies. So as a little girl, 8, 9, 10 to about 11 years old, we would go to matinees after school. And these were not high art. This was whatever was at the local American mall, which are things like Dirty Dancing and Grease and 16 Candles and movies like that, if any of you have seen those. American kind of big, broad comedies and dramas. But it did start to engage me with the magic of movies, and so I became a fan of films, never thinking that I could make them. Who makes movies? Like, if you asked me when I was young who made movies, I was like, Steven Spielberg makes all the movies. It's one guy, it's just him. So I didn't know what a director was, I didn't care, I just loved the magic of movies, and as I became older, I was able to go to UCLA, graduate, and become a publicist for movies. So I would publicize the films, red carpets, newspaper articles, book the actors on the talk shows, billboards, all of that. And I was so happy, Rosalie. I thought, this is my dream. I get to work with movies every day. I get to be on the set. I get to travel with the actors and the director. I get to watch all the movies I want. I'm set for life. That's it. That's all I want to do. Until one day I was on the set of a film called Collateral. Does anyone know that film? It's a Michael Mann film, Collateral. Yeah. Collateral? Okay. Does anyone know that version of the film? The same day. And I was working as a publicist on that set, and I was watching Michael Mann, the director, direct Tom Cruise and Javier Bardem in a scene. And I thought, oh, I want to do what he's doing. I want to be Michael Mann. And so I set out. I made a short film on my vacation, my next Christmas vacation, with just the money, a little bit of extra money that I had. And I just kept doing that, just making little films. Then I made a documentary, and then I made a feature film for 50,000 American dollars, which is not enough to even pay for one day of making anything that you've seen on television, very small. And continued to make low-budget films until I won Sundance, and that was it.
Love the work you do with Array, and just wondering, I mean, like you had it with Michael Mann, you said, this is what I want to do. I'm having it now. And I was just wondering, maybe your agents will never let you do this. But if I could join you one day, or see you do your craft and learn. So it's a question.
Oh, that's the question?
Yeah, that's the question for you.
Okay. Yes, you can come to Array. You can come.
I would love to.
Down. We like to keep it open. I mean, that's one of the things that we, to your point of opening up for technicians, for craftspeople, to actually, kind of see how it's done, particularly in the prep process and the post process. Because on the sets we don't shoot at Array, but that preparation, the writing, the planning, the budgeting, all the stuff that you need to do to get ready to shoot, and then when you come back with your material, the editing, the composition, the color grade, the visual effects, all of that we do on our campus. And so, we welcome people to come by, to check it out, to shadow. So you can go to arraynow.com and check it out. And I see a light shining in your eyes and an enthusiasm, and I hope you keep that in whatever you do and whatever you pursue. But when you're in Los Angeles, drop us a line. You come by.
Yes. And just to finish, just for a little clin d'oeil, we say clin d'oeil, wrinkle of the eye.
Oh, okay.
Wrinkle of the eyes. I made a little editing of my mother's interview on feminism. Mm-hmm. We didn't have time to talk about feminism, but let's see a little, just a little montage.
Oh, what a great way to finish.
Just to have a little smile.
A wonderful smile.
Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for the time. Thank you for your time. Thank you.